So what I've shared with you, obviously, on the first slide is largely the strategy that we had in mind. But here's the other reality. Because we have been and will continue to grow the business at a sizable clip, there is still an expectation that we generate what many would call G&A leverage. And all that means is getting more done with less people, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a reduction in headcount, although some of us as CHROs are working through that. But what it does mean is even if you have the same headcount, the expectation is somehow your team will do more. Well, for us, as we were looking at what more could we do, we felt like we'd probably maximize from a just a human HR ability and capability, skill sets. We were at our max. And a part of what we had to work through was, well, why is that the case? We have very talented people. They have a passion for learning. So what was holding us up or preventing us from being able to take on more with the same number of people? And a large part of it was in partnership with Deloitte, we did a survey, and here are the results of that survey. It's a work activity analysis survey. But the bottom line is we found that the large majority of our HR leaders and professionals were more operational. They were doing more of the tasks oriented work, and only about 24% were consultative and 20% were strategic. And ideally, you can see right in that middle column, top quartile is almost a flip of that. And so we had to figure out, well, what tactical work do we have HR leaders doing that could ultimately be automated in some way, shape, or form that frees them up and ultimately frees us up to be more strategic in nature. And so you'll see the delta there and some of the great work that's been done. But the long and short of it is, after a ton of work, which is really an additional activity-based analysis, meaning where are people spending their time and on what type of work are they spending their time on, we found a lot of it were our HR leaders engaging with their managers or with, let's call them supervisors, in the field. And there were very good, fair questions of managers, but a lot of it was available on our HR portal and other areas that we felt like were more self-service. The challenge is many of the managers didn't feel the need or didn't see it as an easy process. And that for us was the big opportunity to leverage an assistant like Omni to enable us to generate one, the content, the data, two, the access to employees real time, and then three, allow for Omni to become more of what I would call the pull from the business for HR engagement versus the push from us, which is where we were at the time.